if everything you've been told about freedom is a carefully crafted illusion? What if the golden years you're promised, the reward at the end of a lifetime of obedience, are nothing more than another link in a chain you never agreed to wear? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you spent your best years preparing for a freedom that never truly existed, chasing a finish line that keeps moving further away. This isn't just about retirement, it's about the stories we inherit, the scripts we follow, and the invisible machinery shaping our lives from childhood to old age. Most people never stop to ask, whose dream am I really living? And if you dared to question it, if you pulled back the curtain, would you even recognize the life you find? Beneath today, we step into the shadows and expose the myth. Because real freedom isn't something you wait for, it's something you reclaim. They say freedom is waiting for you at the end. They say if you do everything right, follow the rules, keep your head down, work hard, and dedicate your best years to the grind, then a better life is waiting for you on the other side of the struggle. You're taught to see freedom as a finish line, a shimmering reward at the edge of the horizon, waiting just beyond your final paycheck. They call it retirement. They call it freedom. But what if it's neither? From the time you're a child, you're taught that life is a path, a journey with a very specific map. Go to school, study hard, get good grades, move to the next stage, maybe college or trade school, then get a job, then another job, then work, save, obey, wait. Wait for the moment when supposedly you'll finally be allowed to live. There's always a promise hanging in the air. One day, if you do it right, your reward will arrive. But who wrote that promise? Whose voice decided that your life must be spent earning the right to live it? This is the illusion so many of us inherit, and so few of us ever question. We are told that freedom is a destination, a time, a place, an event that comes after sacrifice. But what if that's a story designed not to empower us, but to pacify us? To keep us on the treadmill, always running, never arriving? Imagine standing at the gates of your so-called freedom only to find them locked with nobody around to hand you the key. In truth, the narrative of freedom sold to us is just that, a narrative. An idea so deeply woven into culture that to question it feels like heresy. You are told to suppress your desires now, to delay joy, to put off passion and purpose until the right time. But the right time is always just out of reach. Like a carrot on a stick, freedom is dangled in front of you, always one more milestone away. But what if freedom is not something to be earned, but something to be realized? What if all this time we have been conditioned to believe in a version of life that isn't really our own? The real tragedy isn't that people die before experiencing freedom. It's that they spend their entire lives waiting for it. This illusion shapes everything. You are conditioned to measure your life in increments, grades, degrees, salaries, promotions, and then eventually years left until retirement. Even vacations, weekends, and holidays are just pit stops on the way to an ever-receding finish line. Your existence becomes a constant rehearsal, an endless preparation for a grand performance that never actually arrives. We chase this phantom freedom because it's all we've been shown. The faces on television and in advertisements beam with post-retirement joy, a couple on a cruise, grandparents surrounded by smiling children, people gardening, painting, traveling. We internalize the belief that happiness is postponed. It's a prize, not a birthright. But this manufactured image of freedom is just another layer of the illusion, a product sold to you, a script written for you by people who profit from your lifelong obedience. And so the system doesn't just sell you a false freedom, it sells you the idea that your current reality is a necessary sacrifice for a better tomorrow. It never asks what you want right now. It never asks what ignites your spirit or makes you feel truly alive. Instead, it teaches you to accept dissatisfaction as normal, as the price you must pay for a future that might never come. Ask yourself, who benefits from this arrangement? Who wrote this script? And why do so many of us never challenge it? The truth is, the promise of freedom at the end is less about your fulfillment and more about your compliance. If you spend your life waiting, you never question. If you believe happiness is always ahead, you never revolt against the misery of now. That is the first and perhaps the most powerful illusion, the myth that freedom is something you get only after you've paid your dues. But freedom is not a pension plan. It is not a destination at the end of your labor. It is a way of being, a state of mind, a willingness to live fully in the present. To reclaim it, we first have to see through the illusion. From the first day you enter school, a quiet rhythm begins. Stand in line, raise your hand, ask for permission, sit still, memorize, recite, pass the test. We call it education, but too often it's something else. Preparation for obedience, for compliance, for life inside a carefully constructed machine. Every lesson, every bell, every rule is designed to mold you into a cog, useful, predictable, replaceable. The machinery of modern life is subtle, yet total. By the time you graduate, you already know your place in the hierarchy. The pressure to compete, conform, and comply doesn't end at the classroom door. It follows you into adulthood. The track is laid: school, work, save, obey, wait. The path seems safe because everyone around you is following it, but safety is not the same as fulfillment. The walls are invisible, but they're everywhere. 3. System encourages specialization. You are told to pick one thing and do it well. Become a professional, an expert, an employee. Your value is defined by your function, what you produce, how efficiently you produce it, and how seamlessly you fit into the existing structure. Dreams that don't fit are quietly discouraged. Skills that don't serve the machine are dismissed as hobbies or distractions. You are rewarded for obedience, not originality. As a result, our lives become scheduled and standardized. Workdays, weekends, lunch breaks, commutes, even leisure is dictated. Work hard, play hard. Rest isn't rest, it's a recharge, so you can return to your function. Productivity becomes the measure of your worth, and busyness is worn as a badge of honor. But deep down, many people feel hollow, restless, as if they're living someone else's life. It's not an accident. The system wasn't built to empower you. It was built to maximize output. Historically, the concept of retirement wasn't even about compassion. It was about efficiency. Otto von Bismarck, in late 19th century Germany, instituted retirement not as a reward for workers, but as a way to move the elderly out of the workforce and make room for younger, more productive labor. Over time, this policy was exported, repackaged, and mythologized until it became part of our cultural DNA. Wrapped in the language of care, it was always about control. This industrial mindset permeates every part of society. Education trains you for labor. Labor consumes your time. Retirement quietly dismisses you when your usefulness wanes. The entire structure is designed for maximum output, not maximum fulfillment. The question isn't, what kind of life do you want, but what kind of worker can you become? And so we inherit a template, never questioning its origins or intentions. The invisible script we follow was not written with our joy in mind. Instead, it keeps us moving, producing, complying, so immersed in routine that we forget to question if it's even necessary. When the machine is all you've ever known, silence starts to feel like peace. But it's not peace, it's numbness. It's the gradual erasure of your curiosity, your creativity, and your capacity for wonder. The tragedy is that many people don't realize they're trapped in a machine until it's too late. Only when the noise stops, when the meetings, the deadlines, the busyness fall away, do they see the void left behind. And in that quiet, the questions come. Who am I really? What did I trade for security? And was it worth it? Living inside the machinery of modern life means living by someone else's rules, on someone else's schedule, for someone else's profit. To escape, you must first see the machine for what it is, not a path to fulfillment, but a system designed to keep you waiting, working, and wondering. Only then can you begin to break free. For decades, your identity is defined by your function. You're a student, then a worker, then maybe a manager, an executive, or a specialist. Your job title, your salary, your business card, these become badges of worth. The system trains you to see yourself through the lens of productivity. Your value is tied to what you do, not who you are. At meetings and family gatherings, the first question is always, what do you do? And when you answer, it feels like the whole room nods in approval or judgment. Many who reach this stage discover that what they miss most is not the work, but the sense of being needed. The phone stops ringing, the emails slow, and suddenly the world seems quieter, indifferent. It's easy to mistake this quiet for emptiness, but it's actually an invitation. An invitation to rediscover the parts of yourself that were silenced for the sake of fitting in. If this journey into the mind and soul resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into philosophy, human, nature, and timeless wisdom. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you see the battle between reason and desire playing out in your life? Remember, true understanding begins within. Stay curious, question everything, and keep seeking the light beyond the shadows. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.